This is the Vibe Kayak Seaghost 110. This particular model is about 2 years old. It's in really great shape. Everything still works. You know, even the plastic rudder, all that still works. These are the original knots that we tied the day we bought it at the Vibe shop. Seaghost 110 is a great kayak, guys. I use it for ponds and shallow water. Also moving water as well too. Chattahoochee River, Etowah. I've fished a lot of these local North Georgia waters with this particular kayak. Super stable, plenty fast, especially if you're fishing small waters. The front storage hatch, 2 latches, still work just as good as new. Here's your seal on the inside here. There's the seal to the hatch. Still got the extra plastic that comes with. Tracks really well. It's got a rudder system, so that's nice as well too. Price point on this makes this a fantastic fishing kayak. It's super affordable for a sit-on-top kayak with the frame seat, and it's fully loaded. It's got everything that, you know, your $1,500 or $2,000 kayaks are going to have. It's just a matter of what your budget is, you know. And a lot of times, you know, just get a kayak that you can afford. And if it's something you really get into, you know, you're going to end up like me with all kinds of kayaks. It's just kind of how the game goes. I'm filming this today with the DJI Osmo Pocket. So if you guys like this video footage, let me know. So this is a lead line right here. Typically I make them about as long up to the cockpit. Use this for all sorts of things, and I loop it at the end. You can see it's looped right there. You know, you can D-ring it to things like docks, other boats. Throw it over to somebody else, a friend, if you guys are tying up. Also, if you're in shallow water, like shoals, and you get your boat stuck, or a beach, that sort of thing, you can get out and walk your boat, and you can walk it with your lead line and not have to like bend down and hold your heavy boat and hold the handle while you lead it through the shallow water. Seaghost 110, like I said, comes fully loaded. These gear tracks come stock on all Seaghost 110s and the 130s as well too. They're super sturdy. Like I said, this kayak is 2 years old, and I've used it quite a bit, and it's still really, really clean and sturdy as well too. So these things are on there. The gear track isn't wobbling around or anything like that. And if you need to tighten them up, you can see there's little screws in there where you can tighten it up. It's got these little footman loops. These are great for tying things down, clipping things to. 550 paracord. I'm a big fan of 550 paracord, and these work great with these footman loops. Got handles on both sides. Got your paddle keeper here. This contour, just set your paddle there, pull the line over it, and you've got your paddle secured boat side. Great thing about fishing kayaks these days are the frame seats, and they're all comfortable. They're all great. I highly recommend it if you're in a kayak where you've got a clamshell seat or just a plastic seat. Sit-in sides have a lot of those. Getting into something with like a nice sturdy frame seat is going to make your life a lot easier, especially when you're casting and you're moving around and you're landing fish boat side, and you know you're sitting in the kayak seat for hours and hours on end, it's nice to be able to kind of move around a little bit, you know, adjust your how you're balancing your weight or how you're holding your weight, adjust your bottom in your seat. So that really makes it nice. Any kayak with a frame seat is a big step up from ones that are not. Seago center console. If you guys are familiar with the Seagos, you guys have seen these. Lots of pre-drilled holes on there, measuring on both sides, cup holder. Things like Scotty mounts will fit to this. You can attach a like a depth finder, fish finder. I like to use the side rails. Another thing I like to do when I'm fishing, and I've never actually rolled this kayak. It's super stable, never had to, but I always like to leave. I don't know. I don't like seeing gear tracks all the way down past the seat, because if you load these gear tracks up with something and if you, for whatever reason you fall out of your boat, you're losing gear, and it's going to be really hard. These things are going to interfere with you when you try to get back in your boat when you do a deep water re-entry. And so I like to keep, you know, my knees to my bottom clear on the walls here. In the back here, we've got storage. We've got the little red net that drops down in there. That's in the truck. I need to set that up. If you're wondering why all of these latches are open on that in that kayak, that is a dehumidifier. So that takes the moisture out of the air. So if there's any water or dampness or anything inside these kayaks, when I store them, as long as I open those storage hatches up and I have that puppy running right there, it's just going to suck all the air and moisture out of this entire room. So yeah, I like running those in my workshop here that's loaded down with outdoor gear, because that's going to keep things a lot fresher and drier. Alright, so your Seaghost 110 has these flush mount rod holders. These are fantastic. They don't leak. Never had to reseal them. Never had to retighten them. This part pops out. I may actually just cut that off because there's no holes or anything in the bottom. It'll actually cup out water. So that's maybe something DIY that I'll be looking at, is, you know, doing something with that flaps. I'm sure the rubber's gotten old and has shrunk a little bit, so it's like that on both of them. So the seal here, as you can see, the seal is still intact. It's not rotted. 2 years, right? And this is a budget brand kayak, so it's something that when you hear budget brand, you think of things like hardware rusting out and seals cracking and becoming bad, but that's not the case with this particular boat. Also, these haven't rotted either. They've got lots of spring left in them, lots more trips, kayak fishing trips in them, and all of them are in good condition. Nice tank well here. Right now I've got my wires for my transducer and my Lowrance Elite 4 HDI. Got it right up there on front of the kayak. Right there. And the Seaghost 110 also has this really cool, let's see, hole up here that's for your wires and your hardware down to your transducer. So you can mount transducer to the bottom of the boat, bring your wires up into the back of the Lowrance there, and you're good to go. So I really like that feature. So it's starting to get a little slack. Not a little bit of wear on it from past trips. But it's holding up pretty good. Also notice that the hardware is still silver. A lot of times in the manufacturing process, when you're getting a budget product, they'll cheap out on things like the hardware, the rubbers, and the materials used, right? So in many cases, you'll get, after a season or two, especially in saltwater use, you'll get rusted hardware. Your hardware will just start rusting at the edges on you. And as you can see, 2 years of use, taking it down to Tybee, taking it to Destin, Gulf of Mexico, Of course, Chattahoochee River, Lake Lanier, Etowah River, all these places that are close by to North Georgia. But it's been out a lot for a couple years. And set outside. It's gotten dirty. And all that hardware is just as clean as it could be. So there it is. Here's my quick 2-year walk around of the Vibe Seaghost 110. If y'all have any questions or comments, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. So if you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. Take care. Bye.